everybody? Thank you for tuning into the Matt Rabbit Show. I am your host. All right. Let me get this right. But yeah, we're gonna talk about some stuff today. Let me get this. Let's figure this out. All right. Here we go. I had the overlay all screwed up. Anyways, we are live over here on Facebook, YouTube, all over the place. But you know what I mean? Turn his music off right here. Thank you all for tuning in. Dude, last Thursday went to the Packers game. It was a blast. Obviously not the results that we would have wanted, but it was a good time. It was probably the most epic day that I've had in quite some time. A big shout out to Quick Trip sponsoring the show. You know, go over to Quick Trip, get yourself some tendies, get yourself whatever you like over there. That's where I get my beer. You know what I mean? If you only eat your beer there, you know they got the great beer selection. But hammer away in the chat what we're going to talk about today. I want to talk about Thursday night. Tell you about a little bit about what it was like for me, because that was like some cool like VIP type stuff that I normally don't get. And but then also I want to hear. I got a few comments over here on Facebook earlier, talk about like what's going on with the Packers today, whatever, and talk a little bit about the Vikings. Talk about the Vikings getting smacked away a little bit. The Dallas game was so much fun too. Looks like you had fun Thursday too. Thank you, Julie, for the comment. But yeah, so let's get into that a little bit real quick. Thursday night, see, like I was invited because I have a marketing agent, all right, who helps like get Quick Trip and all this stuff. Good dude. All right, so he invited me because he got hooked up from Amazon, and like a certain amount of his people got to go to this thing, and it's like it was so cool because it was like a shuttle, like from the hotel downtown Green Bay. I forget what the hotel was called. It was a nice hotel, real nice hotel. I'm not used to staying in that type of stuff. You know what I mean? But then we were like, but at the hotel we got like a little bag, you know, full of cool stuff. I had an Aaron Rodgers jersey in there. I got this big chain that I was wearing. This Thursday Night Football chain. It's over here on the wall now. Thursday Night Football jacket. This hat. And I had my Packer hat on at the time, so I put my Packer hat in the bag. Ended up getting lost, so now I'm rocking a Thursday Night Football hat until I get a new one. But it was so cool. We got to go in the club seats, and they got food everywhere. Like the band came up there and was playing. Like it was awesome. Like I got a lot of comments from people. Even Haha Clint Dix was like, "Oh, you're inside, you know, whatever, because it was like cold." But like, dude, like I get what people mean about that, because like when you're up top, like you don't get a real feel for the game as much as like when you're down below. But being up top is cool too. Like I don't care where I'm sitting in Lambeau Field. Anytime that you get a chance to be in Lambeau Field, and then I got to go on the sideline. Well, but before that, we got to meet Antonio Freeman. He came on there and he was talking. He was telling stories about like, you know, his playing days and like just the fans of Lambeau Field and all that. But dude, a real story. I used to work at PDQ Car Wash, like not far from Lambeau Field, you know, and this is like early 2000s. No, before then, like whatever. I don't even know what year it was. I'm trying to do the math in my head when with my kid born, but it was like Antonio Freeman playing days, right? Mont Green is coming there, Gilbert Brown, like a lot of the players came in there, like where I like knew a lot of these guys, and like they knew me like as the car wash guy, not like we were friends. But one time Antonio Freeman came in, and this 15-year-old kid saw Antonio Freeman, and he had to like when the car wash is done, everything is done, they give you your little tag or whatever, and then you go on your way. But it was Antonio Freeman. He's like, "Wow, you're Antonio Freeman," and he said, "Yes, I am." And then he just got in his truck and drove away. And like I mentioned that to him, I was like, "Dude, that was like the funniest thing. I've been telling that story for so long." And he wasn't mean to the kid. Like it wasn't like he was expected to do anything. You know, he was. All the players were like always cool that came in there. But it was like one of the coolest stories. So I told him that, and he was laughing, but he's like, "Yo, PDQ, I remember that Gilbert Brown like was there every day," and like that's so true. Gilbert Brown had like all these vehicles. Remember seeing an interview with Gilbert Brown where he said if he wasn't a football player, he would be a mechanic. I'd like to get Gilbert Brown on the podcast sometime. But anyway, so then after that, we got to go. We got the sideline passes, so I went out on the sideline. Unfortunately, we were like on the Titans side, so like we've seen a lot of Titans players, but I did get to see Mason Crosby kick some dingers over there. And then we were actually on the field because we got to take a picture and we were with Amazon. So because like Lambeau Field, like they're very strict. No one touches the grass. No one touches the grass. Like not in tours. Like, you put your toe on the grass. Like you can't go on the grass like for no reason. So that was very cool to be able to like go actually walk on the grass, even though it was like 10, 15 feet or whatever. So we took a picture, got to see Mason Crosby kick a few dingers. It was just a really awesome moment. Dude, I love the Packers. I love the Packers since I was a little kid. So being able to do some of the stuff that I'm able to do now is just wild to me. And it's so fun. And the Packers lost that game. It was fun to watch. My son got to go with me. We drank a lot of beer, because we were up top, like beers right there. That's the best part is like the beer is right there. The bathrooms are right there. It's just a cool experience, but I got to go to the Cowboys game too, and I was down the field. It was cool. Like a lot of cool stuff has been happening. A lot of cool situations, but that game was awesome. And then afterwards, we went over to Stadium View. We got absolutely lit. And one of the funniest things, although I'll tell the story, and then we'll get right into some Packers talk. And I want you guys to hammer the questions and the topics over here. We'll get into it. But so I'm down on the sideline, right? Some lady she's like in the first row, right? Older lady. She like waves me over to her. So I go over there. I thought maybe she recognized me and she wanted to say what's up or whatever. But she didn't know me. She didn't care. But she just handed me a bag and she said, "These are my husband's ashes. Sprinkle them on the field." Right? And I'm like, okay. So I'm like I had a dilemma because like I was like, I don't want to get kicked out of this thing if I start sprinkling stuff on the field. I don't know. I don't know the protocol. I ain't never been down there, but I know they're very particular about the field. But also I want to like make this lady feel like, you know, obviously she lost her husband and whatever, and I get like why she wanted it. So I kind of pretended like I was gonna do it. And then I told someone about it. I don't want to say no names because I don't know if this is like a felony at Lambeau Field. But someone's like, yeah, let's do it. So then you know, they went down on like their knee, like they're tying a shoe and sprinkled the ashes on the field. So we helped, sprinkle some ashes. I wouldn't say I didn't. I didn't, in case that's like a kick out of Lambeau Field forever offense. But because of me, her husband's ashes were sprinkled on the field. So rest in peace to him. But that was kind of a weird thing I didn't expect to have happen. You know what I mean? But it was an awesome experience. It was like probably once in a lifetime. Not just being in the club seats because like I've been upstairs before, not in that exact spot. That's like a really lit spot. Like there's food everywhere. And I just ate macaroni and cheese. Like there was macaroni and cheese like 7 feet behind me. Whenever I wanted to, I just went back there and got it. And it was good macaroni and cheese. It was like it seemed like it might have been the baked macaroni and cheese kind, because there's different types of macaroni and cheese. And I know all of them. But it was fun. It sucks that they lost, but it was an experience I won't soon forget, you know what I mean? But let's get to some of these comments over here. What is up, Mark Deaton chiming in? What is up, man? How you doing? Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, that's the thing, like about this, because like people were like mad because like I was happy, like I was having a good time, like, oh, the Packers lost. I'm like, dude, when you get to do like not even just like go upstairs or whatever, but like you get to go to Lambeau Field, win or lose, dude, it's a good time. I've had games where like I dressed right and my feet were like frozen and I could barely walk to my truck after the game. I still enjoyed it. Like anytime you can be at Lambeau Field, watch a game, to me, it's a good time. Yeah, it sucks they lost. You don't want to go there and watch the Packers lose. You want to you want to watch a win. You want to watch Aaron Rodgers sling touchdowns. You want to watch the sacks. And you want to watch all this stuff. This season is not what we thought it was going to be. The season is not what I thought it was going to be. I saw people like someone commented earlier, and you're like, talk about being a realist and the Packers ain't gonna make the playoffs. I'm like, dude, that's not even being a realist. Like this season is just not. The Packers would have to play flawless for them to make the playoffs. It's just not what it is. I know I talked a lot of trash before the season. Remember David Carr said the Packers wouldn't win 8 games? I called him out. Every time the Packers won, the Packers are 3-1. Every single win, I tweeted him and I said, here's an update. Here's an update. So at some point, if the Packers don't win 8 games, I probably got to tweet him and apologize. You know what I mean? I think that's I think that's just like what we gotta do. You know what I mean? Let's get to some of these comments over here. Dustin says, "Yeah, I'm so happy. My first time was under the lights, and it was snowing, absolutely magical." And that is the thing that made it so awesome. Is like it was snowing. Like I was on a sideline, it started snowing, and like it just cool. Like we got some cool pictures, and I got to get good pictures for the Instagram. Uh, it was just cool. It was just a cool thing, and especially with my son being there. I've been watching football with my son since forever, so it's cool. Like I get a certain I wouldn't say advantages, but like certain opportunities, like to go to these games and stuff like that. And it's cool to bring my son with me, and like because we did we had a ball because now he's drinking age. You know, he's over 21. We had beers together. We got an Uber home, and it's funny because we took a Uber home, and the Uber stopped at a Quick Trip for us. Right? This is no lie because like people think that it's not just a sponsor. This is real life. I love Quick Trip. I go to Quick Trip all the time. I eat Quick Trip all the time. We go to Quick Trip. Uber man stops there. I get a full pizza, pothole pizza, right? And I'm just carrying this thing around, eating pizza. We're in the lobby. We get back to the hotel. We're talking to people that happen to be in the lobby. We don't know them. I forget exactly. It's a little hazy, my memory at that point. But I was just talking to people in the lobby, like eating a pothole pizza from Quick Trip. And I was like, hey, you guys want a slice? And I was just eating this thing, dude. And I had a good time. That was a good time. You got that Thursday night, Shane? Right here, dude. This thing is lit, dude. I got 2 of them because I took my sons too. I was like, "You got to go. I'm keeping the chain. I'm keeping the chain." No, he didn't want the chain. He's like, "I ain't gonna do nothing with it. Imma hang mine up." Uh, it's a beautiful thing. But Bruce says, "Been there 3 times, victory each time. Best effing time of my life." And that's what it is. Dude, I don't know how many games I've been to. I know a lot of people, like, know their record at games. I was on a hot streak. 2018, I believe that no, 2019, I think it was, before the pandemic. I think, I went to 4 games that year, and it was 4-0. I think it might have been 18. I forget. But, I've had some losses since then. And one year, I was at the Cardinals game when McCarthy got fired. And that was the most miserable Packers game I've ever been to. And not just because I lost, but there was so much water. People who've been to that game, if you've been to that, hit the chat. But that Cardinals game, there was water. They were plowing water in the parking lot, just trying to push the water out of the way. And I wasn't dressed for it because I was an idiot. I didn't watch the weather. I didn't know it was gonna like rain, because it was like, that like right now kind of time where it's like not winter, but it's not, summer anymore. So like it rained, it froze, and we were just walking through this water, just regular shoes and socks. And then I go to my seats and like it slopes down. So my seat, all the water drained to my feet. So my feet were just sitting in cold, icy water. I was trying to lift them up the whole game, and the Packers were just not doing well, obviously, because Mike McCarthy got fired after that game. And it was miserable, but I still enjoyed it. I was at Lambeau Field. I was having a good time. Barely could walk back to my truck, not because I was drunk, but because my feet were frozen. I just hit the floor heater on. I was parked in Fox 11's parking lot. I remember, and I just sat there and just waited for my feet to like thaw. But it was still a good time. I regret nothing from that day. Uh, but yeah. Then after that game, Mike McCarthy was fired, which but I'll say for the record, I said it then, I'll say it now. I do not agree with Mike McCarthy being fired during the season, and I'll never agree with that. I think you win a Super Bowl for your team and as much success that they did, which obviously it was time to go, but I think that he should have been fired after that season. Should have been a little bit more respect laid on him. That's just my opinion on it. And it doesn't really matter what I think about stuff. Uh, But let's get to some of these comments over here. Julie says, the most coldest and miserable game I went to was Brett Favre's last game against the Giants. Talk about heartbreak. Yeah, like that was a cold game. Like I wasn't there at that game. But like that was cold. You could see like everyone's face was frozen. You see, remember what's his face? The Giants coach, his face was just like frozen. Like those are pictures like that you normally see of like in a movie when someone's about to die of like being frozen. But yeah, that was a cold game. I'm not sure what my coldest game. My coldest game, I would say the Cardinals game, but just because of the water, not because like the actual temperature. I don't know what the temperature was. I was at the 49ers game, playoff game last year, which was really cold. Our beers were freezing before the game, but not in the bowl. They didn't freeze. But I guess by that time I was really putting them down pretty fast. But inside the bowl, it's a lot warmer. Like you think it's gonna be colder. the pregame stuff is colder. The concession stuff is colder. When you get in the game, especially if it's like a playoff game, like I think that was my first playoff game I went to. Like you just get uh I'm looking at this chat. I got like a spam right here. Free girls chat. Like, how do I block that? But that's hilarious. But yeah, I think once you're in the game though, you get jacked up, you get excited, you get like the game starts going, you're cheering, you're doing. I feel like you get a lot warmer. Like I took the gloves off. I didn't wasn't wearing gloves last year, and it was a cold game. But it was it obviously didn't that one didn't end how we wanted either. But yeah, happy Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving week. All right, everybody. I got off Thursday and Friday. I don't know what you guys all got off, but I don't know why I said that. No one cares. What's up, Mark? He said the Titans offensive coordinator celebrated a little too much after that W. Got himself a DUI that night. That is a crazy thing. Like, how often do you hear about that? That a coach gets a DUI like after a game. Like they must have been drinking on the bus, I would assume, or the plane, and then after he got home, he drove. I mean, drinking and driving is never like a joking thing, but like that's just like a wild thing. But let me get a drink of this. But yeah, I got a few other things I want to talk about. I got some saved because the game was Thursday, so it's like so like far removed. I start to forget. I start to forget. The thing is, my memory sucks, especially because I be drinking during this game. People will talk to me like about the game, like, man, I forgot. And I have to get the NFL thing where you can like rewatch the games. I don't have that because my memory is hazy, because especially when I go to the game, you know what I mean? I be drinking and we got lit, bro. I think that's probably I wouldn't say the drunkest I've ever been at Lambeau Field, but like that was definitely one of them. I don't remember leaving. Uh, that's a good thing we had an Uber, you know what I mean? Uh, we went to the NFC. Oh, this is Bruce. We went to the NFC playoffs in Atlanta. Packers lost, and the stadium was awful, as were the Dirty Bird fans. Yeah, I mean, fans will be like that. I've never been to an away game, but I've heard a lot of stories about just like I don't know. I've never been like that. If I'm at Lambeau Field, I remember I was at the Broncos game with my guy, the Drew Cave, Frank Titletown over on Instagram. And there was like a Broncos fan there, and like somebody threw something at him. Not like I think not at him. Somebody was like screwing around and it kind of got him. And he like thought it was like that was happening. Like, no, that ain't happening, dude. We're just like dude, I think I ended up buying that guy a beer. Like, I don't know. I think some Packer fans are like that, but like I don't get mad at like other fans. Like even like I was at the Niners game last year. People were mad at this Niners fan because at the end of the game he was cheering and celebrating and jumping up and down. People were getting mad. I'm like, dude, that's like he's a fan, bro. He's like, let him have fun, let him celebrate. Uh, yeah. What is up, Kyle? Yeah, for sure. I see you say let's have a beer. Yeah, it was great seeing you, dude. Thanks for stopping in over here. But don't wear steel toe boots with one pair of socks. Lesson learned at Lambeau Thursday. Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure about steel toe, but yeah, you definitely will, like when it gets to this cold stuff, you want to get a couple pair of thermal. I was upstairs and I still wore thermal socks just because like I'm walking around beforehand or whatever. But like, yeah, if I'm going to a winter game, I'm gearing up. I'm gearing all the way up. I'm wearing a couple pair of thermals. I'm wearing like long underwear. Maybe a couple pairs of pants, maybe like sweatpants and a pair of pants. But I'm wearing a couple hoodies. Got my jersey. Like I'm gearing up because there's nothing worse than just being out there in the cold, miserable because it's so cold. But like I say, once the game starts going, like you start moving around, you start jumping around, it kind of goes away. But still, if you're cold, you're miserable. That's just how it is. Mark says I'm debating about going down to Miami for the Christmas Day game. Yeah, that'd be an all right one. I mean, if you were like, close to Miami, but I am not. But anyways, so let's get to some of these. I got a few things I want to talk about here. PA telling Cowboys fans to have some class because they're doing the skull chant up 40-3 was peak LOL moment. Big shout out to Seth for that tweet because people who don't know, PA is the Minnesota Vikings play-by-play radio guy, right? And he's probably the most obnoxious, annoying person that's ever been involved in sports. Like, he's just stupid. He's a fan that they let announce games. Like, Wayne Larrivee would never do some of the just horrendous stuff that he does. He's always talking trash. Over talking trash about Matt LaFleur, like I think it was last year, year before, I forget what it was. And he's just obnoxious. But he's a Vikings fan, so what would you expect? But like him saying about class and all this, first of all, the whole skull chant, people are complaining, oh, they're doing the skull. Yeah, first of all, you stole it from a soccer team. It's not even a real thing. The Vikings' whole franchise is not even real. So like, I love that they lost and the way that they lost. I love it. I didn't even watch the whole game because I was doing house. I was cleaning out my stuff. I'm ripping out carpets. I was doing all types of stuff this weekend. But I just kept I couldn't walk away too far from the TV, seeing the Vikings catch an absolute L. And I get it, that's like what the Vikings fans always do every single year because their team is trash. So then they're looking at the Packers. They get in trouble from the Packers losing. I know it's kind of like reverse. The Packers having a down year. So like that's what we got, We got the Vikings because you know what it is, because Viking fans every week in my messages, in my comments, we won, you lost, this and that. So like, I didn't see them. Where'd they go? They disappeared. I couldn't find them. So Vikings, um, I hate them so much. Just the team, not really all the fans, because I can get along with most fans. We go back and forth. It ain't personal, but like their whole franchise sucks. Their radio guy is horrible. I like listening to like their losing calls because he just cries. He's just not professional. He's just not good. I hate him. I don't like him at all. And I'm glad that they lost and their whole franchise can just burn. uh all right, so let's get to this last one over here and then we'll get to some comments over here. How do you feel about Rogers playing? He is injured. I think he needs to go to IR. This is the comment I've been seeing from a lot of people. And here's my 2 cents on this. Now, with Aaron Rodgers, because the Packers are not, I don't think, mathematically eliminated from the playoffs right now. They lose like a one game. The NFC is kind of a weird place. The whole NFL is weird this year. But like, if they believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to be back this year, and like when they are eliminated, or if they are eliminated from the playoffs, um, if they believe Aaron Rodgers is coming back, it's going to be tough to like sit him, like to make him understand. Like, I think they're in a tough spot because if they wanna see what they got in Jordan Love, because there's a reason for that. There's a good reason. They wanna see, like, what they got, like, let them play with the starters, let them play against real, um, competition, let them like, prepare all week. Like, even when he played that I think it was against the Chiefs, everyone's giving him crap because they had an off game, but, like, he didn't know. I think Rodgers had COVID that time. They didn't know that he was playing till, like, Wednesday. The game plan was already in. So, like, I don't even count that game. It's like a Jordan Love, whatever the stats were, because he didn't that game was not planned for him. That game was planned for Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love happened to play. I'm assuming that if Jordan Love is playing and Aaron Rodgers is playing, they're gonna have different game plans. Maybe not a lot, but they're gonna have some stuff fine-tuned. So, like, I get why you'd wanna have Jordan Love play, but if you think Aaron Rodgers will come back next year, that's gonna cause them because he's not gonna wanna sit on the sideline, especially not for a big chunk of games. Maybe for, a couple here and there, but, like, if it's best for the team, you gotta do what's best for the team. Now, do you think Aaron Rodgers is gonna retire after this year? And if you think that, or maybe they know that, then they just do that. But if he's gonna be on the team next year, I think you're gonna have a tough time telling him he's sitting on the sidelines. And like it might be the right thing to do, but like I'm just saying that's gonna be a tough sell um for Aaron Rodgers to say we're gonna put in Jordan Love and see what we got here. But I think it will happen, especially if the Packers lose a couple more games. I think they're definitely gonna see what they got over there with Jordan Love. And then I'm actually, dude, like people are like comment all the time, like, oh, you're in tears because you know what, dude, whatever it is. If Aaron Rodgers retires next year and Jordan Love's their quarterback, or they decide to go another way, which I don't think they will. I think that they're definitely gonna go with Jordan if Aaron Rodgers does retire after this year. And like I'm ready for it. But it's gonna be bumpy. When Aaron Rodgers first started, no one knew what he was gonna be. I mean, there were a little higher expectations with the who he was. Like he was supposed to be the number one overall pick, and he kind of fell to the Packers. and he sat behind Brett Favre for 3 years. People saw what he did against the Cowboys, so, like, expectations were I think were a little bit higher, but nobody thought Aaron Rodgers was gonna be what Aaron Rodgers has became, and I'm not saying Jordan Love will, but I don't think that all the Jordan Love haters, like, you don't know if Jordan Love is gonna be great or if he's gonna be bad. Like, you from what we've seen so far, I don't think it's enough. Because the people talk about the Chiefs game, like I said, that game plan was not for Jordan Love. It was for Aaron Rodgers. So, if they do put Jordan Love in this season, I think that'll be a good, little bit of to see, like, what he can do. But, like, I wouldn't say that either way of what, Jordan Love's gonna be. Uh But anyways, let's get to some of these comments over here. I'm be rattling over here. Tony says, "Can't wait for the Vikings game. I'll finally get the chance to be on the sideline." There you go, Tony. Have a good day. That Packers Vikings game is going to be interesting because I don't know. I forget what even week that is, but it's later in the season, and it'll be interesting to see if the Vikings do the Vikings take a tumble here because I have no faith in the Minnesota Vikings. I have no faith. I think that they always just like the Packers always have, like, a down year of, like, 10 years, every now and again, the Packers have a down year. The same thing happens with the Vikings. They have an up year. They start off hot, and then they fall off. They crumble. So, like, will the Vikings crumble? I hope they do, and I'm here for it. I can't wait to see it. I think Kirk Cousins plays next week. The Vikings do on prime time, and you know how Kirk Cousins' record is in prime time. I don't know what it is anymore, but, like, it was bad for a long time. I can't imagine it changed. I don't know. Let me get a drink of this beer right here. But, yeah, okay. We got, Donnie said, "I don't think he'll retire, maybe next season." I don't know. I kinda have a gut feeling that Aaron Rodgers is done after this year, and I've had that feeling before, like, this season, like, I thought if unless he, like, barely, like, got to the NFC Championship game, like, this is my early before the season thoughts. If they got the NFC Championship game, like, almost, like, he would wanna, like, come back for another one, but, like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure Aaron Rodgers needs football anymore. I think he's dedicated. I think he's in it. Like, he's got a broken thumb, I believe people are saying. I'm not sure if he said that, but obviously he has a thumb issue. I'm not sure if the broken thing is confirmed. But, you know, I've seen a lot of comments because I put out there, like, let me, hear what you gotta say. Um, Aaron Rodgers gets a lot of the blame and none of the blame from, like, other people. And I feel like it's in the middle because, like, I've been called both a Aaron Rodgers defender and I've been called a Aaron Rodgers hater this season because I've said, Aaron Rodgers is not perfect. This is not the Aaron Rodgers that we know, but he's also I think he's, like, 5th in touchdowns, and then, obviously, the Packers are playing from behind in certain situations. I don't think Aaron Rodgers lost. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is done. Like, Aaron Rodgers can't do it no more. He's missing stuff though. He's missing stuff, but a lot of those misses, you don't know if the routes are wrong, ran wrong. You don't know like what's going on in there. But like there's certain times when you just see like guys open and Rodgers just isn't seeing them and like right in the middle of the field. But I think it's right in the middle. I don't think Aaron Rodgers to play. I'm definitely not an Aaron Rodgers hater. I love Aaron Rodgers. I think that I just love and then I will forever. And like people are gonna talk about this and that, but like in the history books of as far as Packers are concerned, Aaron Rodgers is going to go down as a legend, just like Brett Favre did. Brett Favre got one Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers got one. Like we'll see, like if he keeps playing, if he adds to that. But I do like on the positives. First of all, let's get to this comment right here. We got Donnie over here. He said, "You think Green Bay can win out?" I do not. I don't, and not because like I don't think because I'm a very positive Packers fan. I love the Packers, and I really don't dog the Packers too often. I get a lot of crap for that because like, oh, you're just a bandwagon, or you're not a bandwagon. You're just a cheerleader, this and that. But I don't think they can win out because like it's just like it's not clicking. Something's not working for the Packers this year. I think that they're gonna win some games, but like you got Christian Watson just going off 5 touchdowns in like 7 quarters. I think Dobbs is gonna be a dude. Like, I think they got some pieces, and then they seem like they got even the guys on defense, but it's just not happening. They're just not winning. So, like, I feel like there's just like a bunch of single good players, but they're not coming together as a team. And I'm not saying that like, there's a locker room issue or whatever. I think sometimes you just don't click, just not working. Sometimes you win games by 3, 4 points. Sometimes you lose them. And right now the Packers are losing, and not only just close games, but you know, the Titans, I think it was 10. It's just a strugglish year, and it sucks because they went all in, not this year, but, like, people were talking about the Packers never do anything, they tried, but, like, the cap situation, they're screwed now for a little bit, but, it is what it is. We're gonna see, like, what happens, like, if we were playing Madden, I would have already just started over. If we were playing Madden franchise mode, I don't know how they're gonna fix this thing because they have the cap situation and is going to be wild because the Aaron Rodgers contract, they kept pushing it out. A lot of other contracts, I think it was last year where they kind of pushed like everybody out. We'll see what happens next year. I think if Aaron Rodgers retires, it's going to be a whole different thing. And if he comes back, it'll be a whole different thing. Like, I don't think that we really know, but there's a lot of football left. So I think that, you know, yeah, we got, Bruce says AR-12 will be there next year. Right? I'm not sure that he will be, but, like, he could be, like, I'm gonna say, just my little gut feeling. Um, Mark says, "Bro, I definitely think we can win out. I think we will start next week. Book it." Alright, we got the Eagles next week, right? That's gonna be a tough one. That's gonna be but those are the games that I can see the Packers winning. Backs against the wall, not supposed to win, Cowboys kinda the same thing. They beat the Cowboys. I think the Packers could win any one of their next games. The Eagles game is gonna be tough, and it's in Philly. Philly's gonna be jacked up. Those Philly fans come, they come to represent. But I wouldn't like say the Packers can't win none of the rest of their games, but like it's a tall ask because they've been struggling. You know, they've been struggling getting Aaron Jones the ball, AJ Dillon involved. Um, He's been trouble, but Christian Watson's been going off, dude. Like, keep throwing the ball to Christian Watson. Like, if you watch the tape, which I don't, but I watch clips on Twitter, Christian Watson's open. He's open like every play. So just keep throwing it to him. Excuse me. So gassy today, people. I would like to see what Jones and Dillon could do in the Wildcat. That would be interesting. I don't think that they'll ever like run the Wildcat. I feel like teams with like MVP quarterbacks don't run Wildcat because, like, I don't know. They just don't. I feel like they have better options. But like, I would definitely, I'd be down, dude. I don't care. Like, do whatever for the rest of the year. The Packers should be doing whatever any play that Matt LaFleur has been just thinking about. Just do it. You want to do a fake punt? Go for it. I don't care. Sling it. Just have fun. You know what I mean? Like, this season is what it is, and maybe they can pull out of it. Maybe they do win out. Maybe they slip into the playoffs. And I've been saying this since forever. Is like Herm Edwards used to say, just get into the playoffs, just get in the tournament, see what happens. And I never really knew what that meant because that was a way long time ago. But now I get it. The last couple of years, just get in the playoffs. Like, you just watch the NFL. All these games, like those Giants Super Bowls, beat the Patriots. What they weren't even supposed to be in the playoffs some of those years. Just get into the playoffs, get hot, see what happens. That'd be the wildest thing. The Packers slip into the playoffs, the last seed, and then just go on a run. You know what I mean? That would be awesome. And I'm here for it. And that's what it is. Any given Sunday, anybody can win. But the Packers have to, like Mike McCarthy used to say, stack successes. The Packers really ain't doing that. They're not stacking them. I love the Packers, and I love all these dudes, and like I want them to do well, but like just not happen this year. It's just like all over the place. Like, you can't even put your finger on it because they have good players. They have really good players, and it's just not working out. It's just not. Uh, he said, "If we went out, I want a public apology for you." You know what's funny is because like I'm always like Mr. Positive, but I just don't like winning out because like there's nothing that says that they'll win out. You know what I mean? Like, they haven't put any stretch together where like you're gonna say like, oh, this team can definitely win out. But like I think that they can win any game. They have Aaron Rodgers, they have players, but they just haven't been doing it. So like I'm not gonna be like I think they will win out. I just it's tough. It's tough to say that they'll win out, but I hope they do, and I'm here for it. Like I say, I think that they can win any game. When you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, and like I think the thumb is an issue because he's like he's missing dudes, and maybe he's not throwing the ball maybe when he would. I think at the end of the year, you always find out like this player, like, oh, this player had this, like Aaron Rodgers, like had a broken leg one year. Like there's other players you hear like, oh, this person had a torn this and torn that, and then you're like, oh, that makes sense why he struggled a little bit. And it's not excuses. It's just like it is what it is. Uh, Even if he has a broken thumb, like it's not an excuse. He's in there. If you're on the field, you're expected to play good. And I think Aaron Rodgers isn't playing up to Aaron Rodgers, but like if you put his stats and a lot of other quarterbacks, I think people would be impressed. But that's a little bit misleading too because like they're behind a lot, they're slinging it, but they're not really throwing the ball a ton. I mean, like everyone talks about no weapons, this and that. But I think looking at the future though, like I don't know who's going to be here beyond this year. I saw a lot of people on Twitter talking about who's going to be here, who won't be here. But like Aaron Jones is huge. Christian Watson is gonna be a freaking star. Romeo Dobbs is gonna be a star. Um, I I think that there's some things to be happy about for this team. Obviously, this year is not all that fun, but we're having a good time. Bruce says nothing but love for the team, but there is some stuff in the diaper and it needs to be cleaned out, wiped down from the top. All right, we kept it clean, but not really, yeah, a little bit. But yeah, like yeah, there's some stuff that needs to happen. Like there's decisions that need to be made after this year with coaching, with a lot of stuff. I don't think Matt LaFleur is going anywhere. I don't think Goot's going anywhere. The people are calling for maybe we'll get a new defensive coordinator. I'm not sure. Like, there's smarter people than that. Smarter people than me will figure all that stuff out. But um, I think there'll probably be some changes with coaches, but it won't be the head coach. It will not be the head coach. Mark says, so when they went out, I need a Happy Gilmore apologies. You're right. I'm wrong when he was talking to Chubbs. Dude, I got you. If the Packers went out, I will gladly do that. Only thing that would make me not want to do that, Mark, is I would have to admit that I said that they wouldn't win out. But yeah, there's the Packers got some work to do. And not just this season, like there's gonna be some cap situations. Um, Whether Aaron Rodgers retires or not, it's gonna be a lot different. People talking about Aaron Rodgers getting traded next year. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is gonna get traded. I don't think he would allow it. I think he has a trade clause in his contract, and he could just say, "I'm gonna retire," and then any trade would fall through. Everyone's heard about like Rob Gronkowski got traded from the Patriots to the Lions. They called him and said, "Hey, you got traded to the Lions." He's like, "How you trade me? I just retired." And they're like, "Oh," so then they didn't trade, and the trade didn't go through. And then he just kept playing for the Patriots, and that's kind of what players have. They have the power to do. You don't like the trade, and just say you're retiring. I mean, unless you're like in your second year, probably don't work. You probably got to be a star for that. And I definitely have faith. Like every time that I watch a Packer game, even when they play the Eagles, I'll have faith Packers can win that game. I'll pick the Packers to win every single week. But like just for me to say, I think that they'll win out. I think that's kind of a weird thing to say. I think they can, but like I'm not gonna like come out here and be like I think they will. They have to do it, and I'm all about it. Like I say, next week, the week after, all these weeks, rest of the season, I expect the Packers to win. I don't even if they throw Jordan Love in there, I expect them to win. I don't think that they're not gonna bench Rodgers. People talking about the word bench, but I could see them at some point if they don't win out, seeing what they got. Let Jordan Love get a little starter time, and maybe have Rodgers with the headset on. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what they'll do. But I appreciate you, Bruce. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy it. But I think I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Uh, but I appreciate everyone tuning in, listening. It's been a little bit since I did one of these. I've been working on my house, been doing like ripping out carpet, ripping out tile, ripping out all types of stuff, putting in some new flooring here. And I am not a mixer fix it up guy, so my wife's taking a lead on that. YouTube is your friend. But go Pack, go people. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And if you're not on a podcast, subscribe on Apple, Spotify, all the places. The Matt Ramage Show, you can find it. And I'm gonna start having some good guests. All right, I'm gonna have Steve the owner Tate. He's a big Packer super fan from way back when. Everyone knows the owner Cheesehead. I want to get some other Packer super fans on here. Packer fans that like are well known. I think my guy Senior Cheesehead. I think I'm gonna hit him up. Um, there's a few other great Packer fans who I've been meeting lately, and also there's a young man, a young boy that I think he's battling cancer. I'm gonna try to get a thing where people can send in Merry Christmas videos to this kid. Packer fans, I'm gonna try to get like some more Packer fans who are well known, but not just that. Just random Packer fans. Send this kid a nice little video. Put them all together, saying Merry Christmas to him. Give him a little bit of strength. Give him a little happiness for a day. And I'll put that up on my social media when I know all the details. People can email me the short videos. And we'll put them all together, send them to them, and I think that'll be good. But go Pack, go people! Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, follow, do all the things and all the places. And all right, we out there, people. Yeah.